Adam Lerner, BrooklynPhotoworks.com, and today we are here with the Canon EOS R mirrorless full frame camera. And you can see it is teeny. It is a teeny little camera, and it's full frame, which is kind of awesome. I mean, this is what you want. You want full frame, you want mirrorless, you want lightweight, you want small, you want compact, and that is everything that's happening here. So today I'm going to share with you my initial impressions of this camera. I'm not going to get into all of the specs. I'm not going to get into DxO marks, and I'm not going to show you a bunch of pictures and zoom in and show you shadow detail and highlights and all that kind of stuff. I'm really just going to tell you how I liked it and what I thought was good and what I thought was bad. This video is brought to you by Squarespace, and you guys know how much I love Squarespace. In fact, I use Squarespace for my own website, and right now you can save 10% off on the price of a Squarespace website with the code ADAM. That's squarespace.com/Adam. As a camera, it feels pretty good in the hand. As you can see, I can get a full 3 fingers on there, and my pinky is not quite there. So, if you've got kind of bigger hands, it's going to be a little bit puny, but it didn't feel that small, okay? I could definitely see adding a grip, and if we were going to mount this guy, which we will, I'll just do it for fun, because why not? I did shoot with this thing, and it is kind of crazy. So I've got the adapter on there, and look, you guys can see this is a 7200 2.8 Mark II version 2 lens. Obviously looks a lot bigger with the lens shade on there, but look, it's for effect, why not? But it really makes the camera seem puny. And I can say that, trying to hold the camera with this lens, it really doesn't feel right. You obviously have to brace yourself, and I would say that if you are going to be shooting with a lens of this size, that you're going to want to be on a monopod or a tripod, because it's just so imbalanced, and I can't really see how you could really keep things level and balanced very nicely for any kind of length of time. All right, so let me take this thing off here because it's ridiculous. All right, I'll put this guy over here. One thing that's pretty cool, I don't know if you guys can see this, but when the camera's off, there's there's a little cover that kind of comes down like shutters over the sensor, and it keeps the dust out of the sensor. And I think that that's really cool, because when you're out and about and you're quickly changing lenses, stuff gets on there and eventually gets dirty, and then you got to clean it, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But anyway, so user experience wise, this camera is all about the electronic viewfinder and this wonderful touch screen, swing out screen, articulating screen. The electronic viewfinder is absolutely fantastic. You got tremendous coverage in there. It looks great, and the thing that's really neat is that because it's a mirrorless camera, you get to preview your exposure. So when you're looking through the viewfinder, you basically see what your exposure is going to look like. And if, let's say, you want to change your shutter speed, you can see that your exposure is going to get darker and lighter before you take your picture. And that's a really good tool. It's a really nice aid as a photographer. Or even if you're just a new photographer, you get to basically, really work on your skills, because you can see your exposure changing live view in the viewfinder, which is really terrific. With the LCD screen, I love the fact that I can literally access everything and change all my settings very quickly on there. You flip it around, keep it on there, and I've assigned this side of the viewfinder to basically be my thumb pad, because there is no D-pad. On most of my other cameras, I've had a D-pad or a little joystick where you could change your focus point. Because this doesn't have one, you can basically use the touchscreen LCD. And it's interesting because you can have this up to your eye like this, and then you basically move your thumb around on the back here, and it moves your focus point around, and boom, voila, that's it. Very quick, very easy, really nice. This little kind of, I can't remember what this bar is called, whatever this thing is, I don't know. I tried using it. I found it to be more trouble than it was worth. I didn't really like it, so I kind of stopped using it. I don't know if this is a thing that Canon's really going to exploit or not, or maybe people will say, hey, we didn't love it, and they'll take it out, but didn't love it. But I do like the little info screen on the top. Really nice readout, lots of information displayed up there. Really cool. Another nice thing on this camera versus, let's say, a 6D Mark II is that it does have a headphone jack. Yay! So that if you are doing video, you know, you've got your HDMI out, you've got your mic and your headphone out, so that's really good. It's a USB-C camera, and it even came with not only a USB-C to C cable, it also came with a little tether cable holder thing that you basically attach to this, which my 1DX Mark II came with. So basically, if you've got a tether cable in there, you put that sucker on there, or an HDMI, and it holds the cable into place so that it doesn't get pulled out. You know, let's say if you're, you know, shooting tethered, whatever. This camera also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and I downloaded the Canon app, and I just, you know, I took a bunch of photos and I just sent them to my iPhone, and it was quick, it was seamless, which is really cool. So having all that connectivity is really cool, and I've actually heard that because it only has one card slot, so you don't have that redundancy, that some photographers have it set up so that with Wi-Fi, while they're taking pictures, it's also being sent directly to their computer over Wi-Fi. Maybe a little overkill, but I don't know. I mean, look, I don't think I've ever had a card get corrupted. It could happen. Nice to have redundancy when you're on a professional shoot, when you've only got one chance to take the shot. So having that as an option is terrific. You know, I haven't tried tethering on this camera, and I'm not sure if I will be using the camera for that. I think this camera, you know, is a great camera if you're a vlogger, because it's so small and it's so lightweight, and it's got the tilting screen, so you can hold the screen and blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're self-taping yourself, which is really the reason why I got it. I got it to replace the 6D Mark II, so that when I'm doing a lot of my YouTube content, when I'm self-taping, this is a really terrific camera to have for that. I did try this camera with the RF 35 1.8 macro. I found that the lens was okay. I didn't love it as much as my EF glass, but it was really compact, really lightweight. It was perfectly balanced on this camera, and as a lens that you want to carry, if a lens you want to put on this camera and carry this camera around all day, it's probably a pretty good option. It just wasn't for me. I also, I've got the adapter for the, you know, the EF adapter, as you can see right here. I didn't get the control ring adapter because I don't really think I need that option right now. I think I can kind of get my way around the camera without it, and I don't really want to add any more length, girth, whatever, weight to the camera, because it is really nice, lightweight, and compact. I did shoot, you know, I did do a couple shoots with this thing, and I found battery life to be really quite good. You know, I had a spare battery, but you know, I didn't make a huge dent. In both cases, you know, I shot for a few hours, so I was impressed. I didn't shoot any video with this thing yet, which is actually what I intend to do with it, but I wanted to see how it is as a picture taker, because quite honestly, as much as the 6D Mark II had been a great camera for me for doing a lot of the YouTube stuff and self-taping, I did not like it as a picture taker. It did not have the dynamic range and the image quality that I have come to expect, you know, using the 1DX Mark II, which I'm using actually to record us now. This is better, but it still does not have the image quality of a 1DX Mark II, in my opinion. I did not feel that it had the dynamic range. I don't feel like the files were as tight, as crunchy, as sharp. You know, whatever. It's a bigger sensor, and it's a newly developed sensor, but it still, in my opinion, it's not quite there yet. And I can only imagine that the professional version of, you know, the EOS R system is going to really kick a lot of ass. So in the meantime, you know, this is kind of like a little bit of a, you know, it kind of slots right in there. You know, it's in between, you know, your 6D Mark II and your 5D Mark IV. I would say that if you're in the market for a 6D Mark II, to just forget about it and get this instead, because you are getting a better sensor and you're getting a lot more camera. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more money, but I think in the end, you know, that you're getting more camera in here. Yeah, so that's probably about it right now. So there you go, guys. Those are my initial impressions of the Canon EOS R full frame mirrorless camera. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and we'll see you soon.